Why the Jedi forbid juyo? I am a die-hard Star Wars fan, and one of my favourite parts is the 7 forms of lightsaber combat. But there was always one thing that confused me at first, and I don't see it explained. This is a lightsaber form juyo, and why it was banned by the Jedi Council. Once again, my friends, welcome back to another video. Today I will tell you why the Jedi banned juyo. In the simplest sense, juyo went against the Jedi's morals, and I will go on to that later. But first I must explain what juyo is. Juyo is the 7th form of lightsaber combat, which was used by the Jedi and the Sith in the era of the Old Republic, before it was banned by that era's Jedi Council, and then by the time of the Clone Wars or before. I'm sorry, I'm not fully sure on the dates. Make sure to let me know in the comment section. It was replaced by Mace Windu's variation of Form 7, Vapard, becoming the recognized Form 7 after Juyo was banned, despite both forms having limited amounts of people that were allowed to learn them. Juyo is a lightsaber form where, unlike Vapard, which lets you dabble in the dark side and allow yourself to enjoy the combat, Juyo lets you use your anger and hatred to fuel you in combat and help you use better blade work. For example, before Maul got bisected by Obi-Wan he used his double-bladed lightsaber with using his own anger and Juyo to help combat the Padawan in that rare moment of no control from Kenobi. He then again used it throughout the Clone Wars using a single-bladed saber until he reobtained a double-bladed lightsaber after the events of the Son of Dathomir comics and being tortured by Sidious, leading to the death of Mother Talzin. Then he used his new double-bladed lightsaber again against Ahsoka Tano during the Siege of Mandalore, and most recently in releases, Darth Vader himself in Maul's Shadow Lord. This form was used in the Old Republic, not being solely a Sith form, like it would be for the future, as Darth Sidious himself did actually state that it was a Sith-based form. But there were practitioners from the era of the Clone Wars who, although not mastering it fully, were allowed to study it, for example like Eben Piel. Though some very notable users who could have mastered it would be Mitra Surik, having the ability to learn the form in Knights of the Old Republic 2, and Dantooine Council member Rook Lamar, who was a member of the Dantooine Council between the era of the Jedi Civil War and Revan's time, until being killed by Darth Treya in the endgame of Knights of the Old Republic 2. In the end, this form was banned because for some it could be an entry point to the dark side. But if one learns to control it, their potential could actually skyrocket. The point of being a Jedi and not being a Sith is that one of the massive differences is that you don't give into emotions. You are not defined by your emotions. You keep control of them. You keep them in check. But with the way of the Sith, they use hate and jealousy and other anger and feelings of hatred and other dark side emotions to fuel themselves in combat. But if a Jedi was able to just use those emotions as fuel at the blade, but not in themselves, that could actually mean they could dip their toe in the dark side but not succumb to it fully, similar to what Mace Windu does with proper dark side emotions rather than enjoying combat. And I think this would actually be an amazing help for the Jedi, but it would show whether one had a weak will. His master, however, Maul never fully perfected Juyo, or was able to achieve as much of a mastery of it as his master. But Sidious, or as many of you may know him, Sheev Palpatine. Yes, the Emperor's first name is Sheev. That is something I have only learned recently. Actually was what I would call the true master of this form, using its own anger and power in the Force to reach such levels of just combat prowess and overall power. It could rival some of the greatest duelists of the Order from all time. Though, even if Juyo wasn't banned by the Jedi, it would have lost study, as it was like Form 2 Makashi, Count Dooku's form. It was a form for lightsaber on lightsaber combat, and as the Sith hadn't been seen in a millennia after the Thousand-Year War, and then the creation of the Rule of Two, or as others call it, the Bainite lineage, there was no need for mass study around the Order. due to the constant threat of blasters in the galaxy far, far away. So, when you come down to it, juyo was a fear and a curiosity to the Jedi. It was like a coin. If one learnt the form and stayed to the light, that would be one possibility, one outcome. For example, heads. But if they fell to the dark through it, that would be the other possibility. That they would fall to the darkness, become a Sith, and possibly lead to the Jedi's complete erasure, just like what happened with Anakin Skywalker without him having studied the form. And I think that even if there was a petition put up or something put up in the order to allow others, other than just members of the council or experienced masters, to be allowed to learn the form, to study it, the Council of the Clone Wars would never have actually allowed it. They were cautious, afraid of the dark side after seeing how powerful Dooku, the apprentice, had become, and seeing the rising threat of people like Maul and Savage in the Outer Rim, and other possible dark side acolytes out there. They would never have sanctioned anyone else to learn the form, because they could potentially fall to the dark side and increase the acolytes of the darkness's rank. And that's what I was. And to get back to my coin metaphor, that's why I'm saying they would never allow it to be flipped. They would keep it away. They would lock it in a vault, and they would hide it from any others other than those few that they trusted. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Post in the comments section what you would like to see in future videos, or if I've got anything wrong, please let me know. I do read all of the comments, and I try to learn from my mistakes and make every video I make constantly better. Though, anyway, guys, I hope you have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. May the Force be with you.